Some places in our world are defined by their beginnings, others by the magnificent structures that were built upon them, but a rare few are known only for their end. In ancient Rome, on the southern slope of the most sacred of its 7 hills, the Capitoline, there was such a place. From its edge, one could look out over the heart of Rome, a perspective no one ever wished to have. This is the story of the Tarpeian Rock. It was not a grand temple or a triumphant arch. It was something far simpler and far more terrifying, an instrument of the state reserved for particularly notorious crimes and symbolically loaded executions during the Roman Republic. Its grim legacy begins with a name, Tarpeia. The story, woven into Rome's founding myths, tells of a Vestal Virgin during a time when the city was at war with the Sabines. Positioned as a guardian of a citadel gate, she was tempted by the enemy's gold. She promised to open the gates for them in exchange for what they wore on their left arms, meaning their golden bracelets. The Sabines agreed. Once inside, the historian Livy writes that the Sabines, disgusted by her avarice, heaped their shields upon her, crushing her to death. Livy tells us she was buried on that very spot. Over time, however, Roman imagination would blur this detail. Later tradition insisted she was cast from the cliff, forever linking the traitor's name to the place of execution. From this evolving legend, a brutal symbolism was born. What made the rock so haunting was its proximity to Rome's holiest ground. The capital was crowned with temples to Jupiter, the protector of Rome, yet on its very slope lay the rock, a place of utter dishonor. Glory and ruin shared the same hill. To be thrown from the Tarpeian Rock was more than an execution. It was a ritual of public shame. So infamous was the rock that Cicero, in a trial speech, warned that between the Capitol and the Tarpeian Rock there is only a short distance, a reminder of how thin the line was between Rome's highest honors and its greatest disgrace. The path to the rock was one of ultimate disgrace, and some accounts suggest it could even involve a humiliating procession through the Forum. The fall itself was a punishment for the body, for the soul, and for the memory of that person. It was a statement, etched in stone and gravity, that you were no longer a Roman. Perhaps no story illustrates this better than that of Marcus Manlius Capitolinus. Here was a man hailed as a hero of the Republic, the very man credited with saving the capital from the Gauls, but later he was accused of harboring ambitions to become a king. The biographer Plutarch captured the terrible irony of the moment, writing,
"The same place where he had performed his greatest good deeds, he now met his most disgraceful end."
As Rome became an empire, the Tarpeian Rock grew less common as an instrument of official execution. The practice persisted sporadically in imperial times. Tacitus records at least one case under Tiberius, but it was no longer the regular public spectacle that it had sometimes been in earlier centuries. For example, Tacitus recounts the fate of the wealthy Spaniard Sextus Marius, who in 33 CE was thrown from the Tarpeian Rock.
Sextus Marius, the richest man in Spain, was next accused of incest with his daughter and thrown headlong from the Tarpeian Rock. To remove any doubt that the vastness of his wealth had proved the man's ruin, Tiberius kept his gold mines for himself.
Centuries later, even when the rock had fallen silent, Roman law still remembered it. Justinian's Digest preserved rules forbidding such precipitous executions, a sign that the Tarpeian Rock endured in memory long after its stones grew cold. Today, the exact location is debated, though most scholars place it on the southern slope of the hill. While much is hidden by later construction, parts of the original cliff face are still visible, a rugged stone outcrop near the grand staircase of the Basilica of Santa Maria in Aracoeli. Few places in Rome embodied contradiction so sharply. A hill crowned with temples to the gods, yet scarred by a cliff where Romans cast down their own. The Tarpeian Rock stood as both a warning and a reminder that in Rome, the distance between honor and ruin could be no wider than a single step. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more history videos every week.